Jay here from Easy Blade. Today I'm going to show you how we went from that to this. Let's get into it. So this is going to be a great beginner haircut tutorial for all you new barbers out there that want to learn how to cut hair. This is going to be great. What we're doing today is basically a half fade. So I'm going to start with the scissors on top. Now what I'm doing here with the scissors is basically using the finger technique. I'm using 3 fingers as my guide, and I'm cutting back. I'm going back, and I'm going ahead and using the 3 fingers. This is how the hair comes out even. This is a very easy way to cut hair. So this is great for the beginner guy. You don't have to split the hair, part it, and all that type of stuff. Now I believe in cutting the hair first on top. Some barbers don't, some barbers do. I'm one of those that do. I like to cut the hair on top first and style it, because a lot of times when you do the fade first and then you style it, it looks choppy. So I'd rather put the hair in a position that I want it before I start the fade. Okay, so right now what we're doing is basically clearing the bulk. We're using number 3 guard, and we're hovering into the hair, doing a scooping motion, and I'm keeping some bulk on the side. Now you can see we styled the hair the way he wanted it. He wanted that crop top look with the hair going forward, and we're pretty much guiding that number 3, and we're pulling out towards us as we get to the top of the head. Now you can see, again, I left that bulk on the side because the top hair needs something to lay on. You guys are gonna see that when you cut the hair on top, it's just way better. Sometimes you see people who do fade haircuts. I see them in the streets all the time. I can tell when they did the scissors afterwards. Again, if you do the top first, you won't have that hangover look. A lot of guys do skin fades and one fades, and I can see the bulk at the top of the head after the fade, which makes it look really bad. So right now you can see we cleared the bulk, right? We trimmed the top. The top is already styled, and we're just kind of hovering into the hair, creating room for a fade, and now we're dropping down to our half. A half is basically the machine open. We do have a half guard, which we're gonna use later on. So again, bending the ear, getting that ear out the way. That's another thing for you new guys. When you're first starting to cut hair, a lot of people try to turn the machine sideways and go around the ear, and then they bring the area up above the ear too high. You don't want to do that. So what I'm doing here, flicking the wrist. I started off at the temple area of the head, and I'm following that all the way around. As we get to the other side of the head, we're also going to do the temple area of the head as well. All right, we're gonna do the same thing over here, following the temple. Make sure that you keep your client's head up. A lot of young kids like to look down. It's just a natural thing that young kids do. And you can see I bent the ear, so now I can get a clear line going across. Like again, don't turn your machine sideways and try to work around the ear. Bend the ear, get it out of the way. It's not gonna hurt them. So right now we're dropping down to our number 2 guard, and we're fading into that number 3. So the way we're working this fade is we're basically working our way down from the biggest guard down to the smallest guard. The most easiest and safest way to blend hair, guys. You won't make a mistake. So again, you see me kind of pushing the hair in the front out the way and just making sure that I'm going over the area so that it has a nice blend. Again, you're not going to see any transition at this point of the haircut too much. You're basically, just making sure that you're, crossing your T's and dotting your I's. And then we're going to go ahead and drop down to our 1.5. And as we get lower, we're pretty much going to see this fade really start to take place. And you're going to get a real clear image of exactly what I'm doing here. So again, scooping motion, using my number 2 guard still, but on this side of the head, combing the hair in the way that I want it. And I have that nice bulk on the side. So now what we're doing is brushing it out. You can see we got our brush, and we're basically dropping down to our 1.5. And you can see the fade start to take place a little bit, but it's really not going to take real effect until it drops down to that 1. Now, when you're starting to, fade at this point of the haircut, you want to make sure that you're using a lever. You pretty much just, as you get higher, you're going to open up the lever. If you guys don't know how to use a clipper lever, there's a video on our channel right here that shows how to use a clipper lever. If you're unfamiliar with the guards, there's another video that shows how to use clipper guards, and both of those videos are doing really good right now and helping a lot of people with fading hair. Again, scooping motion, as you can see, I'm not exceeding the area that I went into before. Whenever I get to that area that I'm going into from before, I kind of open up that lever just to blend into it. So make sure that you're doing this all the way around the head. Now we drop down to our 1. Now the fade line is going to start to disappear. It's not going to disappear completely because, again, we put a half at the bottom. The only way we're going to make that line disappear completely is we have to drop down to our half guard. So right now we're starting off at our 1, creating our blend, and really you can see the fade takes place. Now you guys are starting to see why it's better that you do the top first, clear your bulk, and then start your fade. You can see the difference now. If I would have left all that hair there and then started to trim it lastly, it could be done, you know, you could still do it, but then you're gonna have to use the scissors over comb. You're gonna have to do a lot more steps. So it's gonna help with timing as well, just clearing that bulk and just, you know, setting up your fade and setting yourself up and giving yourself a plan. A lot of times when you start to trim the top last, it kind of becomes, like I said, becomes a puzzle, which is nothing wrong with that as well. But, you know, if you have a plan, you have a clear plan when you're fading hair, you'll know exactly what you're doing and you know exactly what you're gonna get. Again, you can see the line starting to get faint, and then we're gonna drop down to that half guard, which is really gonna take the fade to the next level. Again, right here, you can see it a lot closer. Flicking the wrist. As I get higher, I'm opening that lever, closing the lever completely. As I get higher, I'm opening it up. So as you get to the smaller guards, you're gonna be using a lot more of the lever, okay? So you can see the shorter strokes. As I get higher, I'm opening that lever, which is really big. And you see me constantly using the brush, and the reason why I'm doing that is because you want to get all those micro hairs out the way. You don't want to leave those there, because a lot of people will be fading and they think they're not even fading, you know, and they need to get that hair out the way, especially when you drop down to the half guard like we just did right here. Again, smaller strokes, moving the ear out the way. And now I'm starting to really create that blend, and you're gonna see that line disappear basically. All right, scoop in motion, shorter strokes. Again, this is a great tutorial for all you new guys out there that want to learn how to cut hair. So I know a lot of you guys are probably in barber schools, you're getting taught different ways. I just feel like this way is pretty much a bulletproof way of cutting hair. We're working our way from the biggest guard to the smallest guard. We created our wall for fading. We cleared the wall, we cleared the bulk, and we had a nice flat surface to fade. You want to make sure that you have a nice flat surface to fade. And you can see the difference. Look how the fade looks. We're fading it out right now. Once we add that line up to the fade, it's really going to take things to the next level. Most of the time, you know, fading hair is pretty much, you see people, they put that they put the spray on the hair now. They make the haircuts look so sharp. I'm going to show you guys how to make your lines really sharp naturally. Nothing wrong with using enhancements, but we're pretty much going to make it sharp naturally. You're really going to see this fade haircut pop out. Now you want this sideburn square. You can do it any way you want. And we're rounding the corner out using the T of the blade. You see the corner of the blade? We're using that part as a pencil and really creating that roundness effect of the sideburn, and like a C cup basically. We're using the corner of the machine to really create that area, as you guys can see. And it really looks really good. We're gonna leave the front of his head natural. He wants that hangover. And again, going around the ear, you can see my machine is angled, and I'm just using the corner of the blade to create that round effect. Now it's gonna pop even more. You're gonna see this fade pop even more once we use the straight razor. So you see me bending the ear. I'm taking my finger, pushing down the ear, and you can see we have a nice open back. You got a better look right here. It looks really good, guys, and it really makes that half fade pop. Look how this fade looks. It looks great. The top is already done. With the top already done, it makes my job a lot easier. We did that in the beginning. So now we had our fade, we're lining it up. We hit it with a straight razor, and the customer is out the door. And you can see a lot better timing. You know, everything all together just comes together basically. You know, you get better timing. You know, it just works out. You know, it's not about rushing a customer, but you know, I'm from New York, so we get a lot of you know, I was basically born and raised in New York. We get a lot of customers inside of a barbershop, so you got to be really good with timing, you know. And what we're doing here is basically rounding out the back. You can see me pulling down the cape area and just kind of rounding it out. So now we're gonna grab some Easy Blade shave gel. You guys can grab this on our website, along with an Easy Blade straight razor and an Easy Blade double-edged razor. Now you're gonna really see the fade pop. You want to pull the skin, angle the blade at a 30-degree, and just go light. You know, that shave gel is really going to allow the blade to glide, and you just pretty much let the blade do the work for you. Squeeze the skin. You can see me pull it, and then just go exactly where you want it. You know, over here you can see I'm pulling down the eyebrow. Don't be afraid to, like, you know, I want to say manhandle, but kind of manhandle your customers. You have to. And this is exactly what we have, guys. Look around the head. I just want to thank you guys for watching. Again, Jay here from EasyBladeShavingProducts.com. You can check us out if you guys need any products. Use coupon code YouTube.